welcome to episode 12 of the Performance Show. Artem Sitak joins us. So Artem is a tennis player from New Zealand, currently playing on the ATP Doubles Tour. He's played in 17 Davis Cup ties, attaining a 15-6 winning record in singles and doubles. He's also won 6 ATP Doubles titles and reached a high ranking of 32 in the world. So Artem, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So you're born in Russia, that's right?
Yep.
Yeah,
correct.
and then moved to New Zealand with your family. And what kind of made that decision, and how did you get into tennis at a young age?
Well, it's not as simple as that, actually. So I started playing tennis when I was 6 in Russia, and my parents put me into this kind of academy, a small academy in Germany when I was 12. So I was away from home starting 12. And then I lived in France for a while. I had a private coach there. Then I went to the academy in Saddlebrook in Florida for a while. So I was in between the 3 countries. Then when I was 20, I decided to move to New Zealand with my wife. So we decided to go through the immigration process. And long story short, we got the citizenship. I got the citizenship. She had to wait another 5 or 6 years for that. And we just wanted to have a home, somewhere really pretty, really nice, really quiet. And New Zealand seemed like a perfect place to do that. So we went through all that, and luckily we got it, and we're really grateful for that.
Yeah, New Zealand is a beautiful country. I've been there myself. I feel like it's pretty similar to Australia, actually, in many ways. So you were a great junior player, won the Orange Bowl at 14, and then how was it for you transitioning onto the seniors tour?
It was not easy for me because I had a lot of injuries. I won Orange Bowl when I was 14, but then pretty much the whole year when I was 15, I was injured. My back was really bad, and that's why I realized how important it is to take care of your body, take care of your health, because without the body and health, you're not going to play tennis. So I started doing that a lot when I was 18. I actually went to French university, and I was training with the French team there in France, and while going to university and also playing tournaments. So that was kind of my transition into the tour, and I got pretty good. I got to 450, I think, in singles that year. And then just slowly from there, just kept on playing singles, trying to break through, basically.
Yeah. So, mentioning before, you did train at a academy in Florida. Did the US college system ever appeal to you?
I didn't know much about it. If I knew what I know now about it, I would definitely go, because I had so many offers. At that time I was 18 and I was 450, like I said, so everybody wanted to have me. So I think I had propositions from the best colleges in the States, but I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know what it was. Nobody could advise me on that. So I declined all that, and I went straight to the tour. If I would go back, I'd probably go to college. Yeah, pick the best one and go there.
Yeah, because you still did a university degree in France, as you were saying. So you pretty much did what you would do in the US, just you're kind of more training on your own rather than.
Yeah, I did 2 years in France, and
Okay.
that was mostly because I had a really good coach who was the university coach at that time. So and we had like 10, 15 players every day. So for me, I thought that was great training, and I felt like I was going to improve a lot in that environment. So that's why I went there. And it was more familiar because I did live in France for a while, and the coach explained everything to me, how it was going to work and everything. So I went that route. Yeah.
And at what stage of your career did you feel like, okay, I'm not going to play singles, I'm going to play or focus more solely on doubles?
I think it was the end of 2012, I believe, 12 or 13. I just, looking back, I was just, okay, I'm making maybe $20,000 a year playing singles. I have to play all this prize money events, club matches every year just to break even, just to have money to travel. So that's not very sustainable. And what can I do to earn money in tennis? might as well try doubles, because I was 150 in doubles several years before that, while playing singles at the same time, obviously focusing on singles. And I got to 150 in doubles, so I thought maybe I have a shot in doubles. I'll go full on doubles. And I was, at the time, I was like 450 in the world, so it was a long road ahead. So I had to play a lot of futures, hopefully get into challengers, do well in challengers. It's for about 2 years, it was obviously a struggle. Yeah.
And from playing futures, you've won 6 ATP titles now. For you, what has probably been the biggest highlight of your career?
Tough to pinpoint just one. I think quarterfinal in Wimbledon 2 years ago was huge. It's my favorite tournament, and we played some epic matches, coming back from 2 sets to love, down twice, second and third round, and then losing in quarterfinal very close. I think that was the best I've played in a tournament, that's for sure. But then also winning the ATP events, like one final in Montpellier, we won 16-14 in the final, saving too much points. So that was pretty incredible, to have that kind of match in the final. Yeah, I would, and then another final, we had 3 rain delays, and ended up winning it in a super tiebreak, 10-8. So that was also very close. So yeah, probably those tournaments. Yeah.
And for those listeners out there who may not be as familiar with the whole double system, a super tiebreaker is a third set decider that goes up to 10 points. Obviously, points can go either way, which can determine the result of a match. How do you keep composed under those sort of circumstances?
Yeah, I mean, it's everything is so close. You can have a match point, and then 2 minutes later you lost the match, or the others have a couple of match points, and then all of a sudden you won it because you just won 4 points in a row. It's just, you got to stay in the moment. You don't think about the match points. And one time I think I was up 9-2 or something, and we ended up winning 14-12 or something like that. So that was almost a disaster. I think I played one super tiebreak and say at some point, like 15-0, 16-0, I forgot the score, and I was just playing. It's like a deuce advantage, and whoever wins the game won the match. So yeah, you're trying to stay in the moment. It's easier said than done, of course, but you'll have some bad mistakes in the big moments. I mean, everybody does those, and maybe you have some great shots in the big moments. That happens too.
Would you rather play a third set, or do you like playing the supers better?
I like super tiebreaks just because it's very entertaining for the crowd. I think it's nice for the fans. Like, they know it's not going to be a long set. It's going to be super tiebreaks. It's going to be it's going to be fun. Anything can go either way. So yeah, in that perspective, it's really good. I like the full set and the slams, of course, because I feel like the better team wins more often, maybe in the full set. Yeah. Like, you're not going to get maybe a little bit lucky in the super tiebreak, something like that. And of course, I like the most is Wimbledon 5 sets, because I feel like you're not going to blame it on anything. It's like, if you lost a 5-set match, the other team was better than you. So,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you won your first ATP title in Stuttgart in 2014, and since then you've played with different doubles partners, Jonathan Ehrlich, Marcus Daniel from New Zealand, your countryman, currently playing with Divish Sharan, as you did in 2019 at the start of this year before COVID hit. What do you feel like makes a successful partnership?
Well, first of all, Divish and I, we split up after the last tournament before COVID. So right now I'll play with the Slovakian guy, Igor Zelenay. Who I always thought was a great player, and I'm happy we're playing together. So we'll see how that goes for the rest of the year. As many tournaments as we can play, we'll play them, but not sure what's going to happen. What was the question about partners? Because I thought about...
So what makes a successful partnership? I know chemistry is very important.
Yeah, well, for me, and I think most people, they kind of feel like they're going to do well with someone right away. I feel right away if I'm going to do well with a partner or not. It just depends on a lot of things. Me, I know if the partnership is going to work or not after 1 week of playing. It depends on a lot of things, partners, energy, positivity, shot selection. You kind of feel it right away. So every time I played with a new partner after 1 week of playing together, I knew if we're gonna do really well or not. And I feel like it's for most people. Some people are looking for different things. Somebody maybe needs a partner that is returning unbelievable, or somebody needs a partner who is serving bombs. So it's just really personal. And for me, it's more like a vibe on court and shot selection at particular moments. So pretty much know right away.
Yeah. For you as a doubles player, what do you feel like your strongest skills are? Is it serve? Is it more return, volleys?
I feel like I'm very solid in every aspect. My volleys, I think, are pretty good. I'm putting away a lot of volleys when I get it, and I think people are trying to stay away from my net game. I wouldn't pinpoint just one shot like that. I feel like I'm pretty solid everywhere, and the serve could be a huge weapon, like it always is in Wimbledon, and sometimes it's not as big, maybe depending on surface or ball.
Yeah, and I mean, so you played against the Bryan Brothers at the start of this year in Delray Beach. I mean, you went down in a third set breaker, and the reason I'm asking about the Bryan Brothers, obviously, they're one of the most successful partnerships in the modern history. What does it take to beat a pair like that?
Well, first of all, they're twins, and they played all their life together, and that obviously helps a lot. And they are very good players, and they've been playing doubles since a very, very young age. So their movement and positioning and shot selection is really, really good. They're very methodical and smart in what they're doing, and they're good players. So I'm not surprised they had so much success on the doubles tour. I played them 3 or 4 times. I think every time was pretty close, but I never got to beat them. I hope they'll play next year. They'll continue playing because I really want to beat them. I want to have that on my resume that I beat the Bryan Brothers. I don't have it yet.
Oh man, I'm actually a twin myself. He's in Australia at the moment, but if we were on, we were on because that chemistry of having a twin, we're identical, is there. But when the brother relationship comes on the tennis court, it can be, you could probably lose to 2 10-year-olds. It just gets that bad. So it's like you're really hot or really cold. So they've had a stellar career. If we talk about doubles tactics, I know you can use the I formation, tandem play. Obviously, at such a high level, we all pretty much serve and volley, whereas most junior players sort of stay back because they're not comfortable coming forward. What would you say to junior players who want to kind of get up there, but they're too afraid of the net, or they're kind of going out of their comfort zone, moving forward?
I mean, I think you have to come in, unless you have a forehand like Jack Sock and you can stay back and rip those forehands. I think in doubles you have to come in, you have to hit tough first volleys and in a good position, and then get to the net and be a wall at the net. And then somebody like the service partner at the net kind of has to draw the ball to him. Depending on where the serve was, the net guy moves to the location where the return is most likely going to be hit. So it takes a lot of practice, obviously, and a lot of repetition to get that going. But I think it's definitely and now also the serves are getting bigger in doubles. Like you got to have a big serve, really big serve, and then and you're gonna dominate the net. Whoever dominates the net usually wins.
Yeah. So, do you prefer coming in? This is kind of a awkward question here, but do you like coming in more on a first serve or a second serve? And the reason I ask that is because on a second serve, obviously you have more time to get in, although the second serve isn't as fast as the first serve.
Yeah, I obviously come in on both, but First serve would be easier because I feel like the return is not going to be as big.
Yeah.
So I'll have an easier first volley to hit, or maybe my partner is going to put the volley away. So first serve is really, really huge key in doubles. Every time there's a second serve, the returner feels like he's going to be attacking it. So it's a change of mindset in your opponent's. So you have to put the first serve in, even if it's a little bit slower, maybe a second serve speed. But as long as it's a first serve, I think that's always better for the net. Yeah.
It's interesting because in doubles you really want to attack it, but if you look at the singles game, like Stan Wawrinka actually stands a lot further back from what I've seen on his second serve compared to the first. I'm not sure if that's only because he's a one-hander. When you play against the one-handed backhand, is that something that you really try to target when you're serving?
Yeah, if you're playing against a one-hander, the high kick to the backhand is obviously is a very good play because it's very difficult to hit from there, and it's tough to direct it into the feet of the server. So that would be my target, of course. But then it depends on the player. You know, somebody might have a little bit weaker forehand, for example. Then you're gonna have to target that. It's just we know all the players pretty well, so we just kind of target the weaknesses all the time.
And what's it like for you playing against two highly ranked singles players who may not have the success on the doubles court? So, for example, if you and your partner were playing against someone like Djokovic and Nadal.
Yeah, it's not easy because they have other weapons than good doubles players have. So maybe they're not as active and aggressive at the net, but then they'll have really good returns, or their serve is going to be really, really good. So it's always tricky to play against really good singles players because they can play really good doubles. They don't play a lot, that's why maybe they're not ranked that high, but when they do, it's very dangerous. Like this year, for example, we lost to Opelka and Steve Johnson in New York, two singles players, but they played unbelievable doubles. So we couldn't touch Opelka's serve, and Johnson was playing really well too. So we lost that one, and then we lost in Santiago on clay against Carbales Baena and Davidovich Fokina, the Spanish guys. On clay, you're playing against Spanish guys who don't play much doubles, but they played also really well. They ended up winning the tournament. So it's always difficult. It's always tricky, and you got to take it obviously very seriously. It's going to be a tough match, and hopefully you find a way to beat those guys. But nowadays, singles guys are playing really good doubles.
Yeah, and I guess that's probably good that the singles players are playing doubles because it can actually benefit their singles games in many ways.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all we have really have time for. I really appreciate you spending the time and coming on, and good luck for the rest of the year. I'm not sure what else they're playing.
We'll try to play some tournaments. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hopefully meeting you one day. That would be amazing if you maybe at the Australian Open when I'm back in Melbourne.
Sounds good.
But, all the best in isolation and getting through this difficult time, and stay safe.
Cheers, mate.